Yeah, I could almost cover what the last recording was. I was like 8 minutes, and I thought, okay, I'll let it run, and then it was at 15 minutes and 16 seconds. So unless YouTube's lifted my limit to 15 minutes, well, I'm gonna move on anyhow because the initial and minimal value out of doing these recordings is for myself, for my work. This is my work. And I haven't put aside Quad M making a machine mind machine, but that's more fun and games when we're changing the smoke and mirrors into the actuality. So NFTs were solid. Then, so the first phase is just meme tokens. Then the second phase is NFTs. The third phase is NFTs attached to DApps. The where was I? Third or fourth? Anyhow, the next phase would be to make those DApps, those cloud native DApps, into what we could call robots. That is, we can launch them and they can go through the cloud autonomously, and God knows what they do. One possible use case would be read the ledgers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go ask your mom. But those are open to the public. In fact, you can't hide them. So, oh God, oh my God, oh my goddess, 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 goddess. We can read smart contracts. Think about that. We can read smart contracts. If someone's put a smart contract out there, we can read it, I guess. It doesn't make much sense to me, but I guess. Okay, yeah, yeah. Well, I saw a YouTube video that's basically they're saying you can read the smart contracts. Because I was thinking about Solidity and Rust and how they compile. So you might be able to read them, but it would be a bunch of bytecode. I don't know. But if you can, what I'm getting at is a autonomous robot that travels whatever that means in some place that doesn't have space, the cloud, and it would read the smart contracts or the ledgers and report on it. Because we're going to be a knowledge-based organization, and I intend to sell reports on our findings, a lot of research and development. Um, yeah, I think I can train people. Most people, I think, would be able to do the work once they're pointed in the right direction or shown how. So, so really, I keep thinking of like Henry Ford and his Model Ts, right? At this point, we're not just making collectible NFTs. Though they may have that quality as well. But they're actually dynamic programs. Again, games that the person that bought the NFT, they can play this game. Kind of like a board game or something where someone has, bought like Monopoly or something as a board game. And that's your game now. You own that. You can play it. Um, if Brass Ring Games does it right, because I'm thinking of the business model of that we crank them out, we crank out games. But some of the early ones might have a very low count, especially because if we're smart, when we get to that layer, or to that phase, I should say, we want to give it time. That is, ideally, you wouldn't expect to profit for at least 6 months, and a business plan should think in terms of 2 years. Now, that's pretty difficult in dealing with crypto because there's like thousands coming on the market every day, and crypto is known for like a month is a long time in the crypto market, right? Maybe years, even, maybe even 10 years or so. That's how fast things have been moving and have for at least 7 or 8 years, maybe more like 10 years. These things are moving real fast. 2024 is the time to jump on it and ride it, surf it. So I've got that. So really, we've kind of gotten to the. I mean, the thing is the lower levels are still operations as long as they're bringing in money and they make sense. But we use our money to buy assets, and form of that is our ability to make basically like these vehicles or spaceships or robots that people can buy from us, and yeah, they do whatever they want from there. But let's say the game type thing. You may not think tic-tac-toe is much of a game, but I tell you, if we only mint like 10 of them or 100 of them or even 1,000 of them, if we get down the line and people learn to trust our games, that they're likely to be fun and worth holding. Because what'll happen is if people want to hold them, they'll start saying, "Well, no, you sure I only paid $30 for this, but and you came in late, so you don't have one, and oh, poor you, you collect black brass ring games. I'm afraid it's going to be 20,000 if you want this tic-tac-toe game, but it's significant collector-wise because it was one of the first runs, right? That's like Magic the Gathering. I could go on and on about Magic the Gathering. I love it as a entrepreneurial model. But they started up. I was from South Bellevue, and they started up in Renton. My brother got me into it, and he was like the second or third year. So I got in like the third year or so with some of the first booster packs I bought and stuff. But he'd go to conventions and stuff and get the artists because the artist was a big thing with Magic the Gathering cards. Um, and get them signed in gold from the artist for that card. So I don't know how much those are worth now. The collector market for Magic the Gathering, I think, has kind of been wobbly, maybe. Not enough demand, I guess, for the supply, but that'll change. Anyhow, did I mention I've been an innovative entrepreneur my whole life? So let's talk about this business plan. I'm not just thinking the meme tokens and let's get a quick 30,000 or a quick million, whatever. I mean, my vision is insatiable. So, so we're kind of like manufacturing like these cars, but I'm using that as a metaphor, a vehicle. These things that somebody comes into our showroom and uh, buys one, and they go off with a shiny new whatever it is. So the next step, well, I want to do a main net at some point, and I'd like to explore whether we can run our main net, at least a test one, in virtualization. So there's no hardware involved. And we should be able to do in virtualization, we should be able to make not only a network with our own computers in it, but many networks. So as far as I know, as a test lab with virtualization, you can do just about anything you want. And so we will. 10 minutes. I'm going to take a break and collect where I was going with this because I think I might get into my more advanced. By the way, I want the Terra token to go ICO with a target of 120 million by 2035. Because I'm tempted. This stuff could happen within a couple years, but I don't want to pressure us too much. So if we beat the 2035, we should celebrate with an ice cream party or something.